What's going on, everybody? Eric Bourassa here, and I'm really excited to bring to you the Dorian mode, no theory required. See, I was working with a student of mine last week, and we were talking about the Dorian mode and the modes in general being kind of confusing and overwhelming, and I was like, look, we do need to get into the theory of the Dorian mode. I think it will really help. But for now, I want you to just add this one note. All right, so here's how it's going to go. So we got our pentametronics. Oh, that's sweet. That's sweet, my sweet telly. And then you take that A minor pentatonic scale, and we're just going to add this one note. That 7th fret on the 2nd string, that is your Dorian note. That's the note that really brings out the Dorian flavor. So we could learn the full Dorian mode, all 7 notes, all over the fretboard. But the reality is, most of the time, at least when like rock and pop-based guitar players and even country guys are using the Dorian mode, they're thinking pentatonic and then adding that Dorian flavor, that Dorian-ness. So I want to give you 10 examples. 10? What? Am I crazy? Is it Christmas? Now, my students are going to be getting access to my full modes course, plus all of my other amazing guitar curriculum, plus access to me. So if you're just here for the video, that's awesome. I dig that. But if you're like, Eric, I want more, here's how you can get more. All right, so example 1 is just going up the scale and then ending on that Dorian note to give it that Dorian kind of a feel, and then going backwards. You can pick all those notes if you want for 1A and 1B. But I'm a legato guy. I worship at the shrine of Satriani, so of course I'm gonna do legato. So pretty fun, and then don't forget some nice strong vibrato at the end. All right, on to example 2. In example 2, we're doing like one of my favorite things, which is kind of circling the note. So you'll notice a lot, I'll play the 5 and then the 8. I like to circle that Dorian note. So we're just doing a pause. Add a little bit of palm mute, add a little bit of vibrato for some spice, for some sauce. But you can see every other note comes from box 1 of A minor pentatonic. All right, so for example 3, we are kind of doing that kind of a thing, which is fun. So we have a static note down here. It's got kind of a dream theater sort of thing going on. And then some syncopation. I'm trying to really get across the point that rhythmically we want to keep things interesting. So just because we're playing in the Dorian mode and adding that note doesn't on its own make it interesting, but if you make it rhythmic, 3, 4, you know, throw in some rests in there, and it's real hip. All right, so for example 4, we're gonna take that Dorian note and bend it a half step up to that pentatonic note. And then when we come back to the 8th fret on the 1st string the second time, I'm gonna do a rake. So that's why there's those X's in the tab. And then a little puny quarter step bend to get kind of a bluesy sound. So that on its own is a technique worth practicing, doing a rake with a little quarter step bend. It's cool, man, it's cool, especially if we go to the neck pickup. Yeah, it's a fun one. In example 5, we are doing a lot of palm muting. See, to give us a cool sound, and then we'll throw in that Dorian note. Right? And then a little rest. Dorian. It's like pentatonic. Dorian, right? Fun. Example 6 is descending triplets, but we're going to throw in that Dorian note and not keep it strictly pentatonic. Right? So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1 lit, 1 lit, 2 lit, 3 lit, 4 lit. Right? Kind of like that. And I like to do some hybrid picking in there as well. But you can see pentatonic, Dorian, Dorian. Yeah, baby. Example 7 kind of starts with like an A minor 7 arpeggio. Yeah, in fact, that is an A minor 7 arpeggio. Hidden within the depths of A minor pentatonic box 1. And then we're going to slide, do a little bar, do a little dance, make a little love, get down tonight, pull off, slide, roll. And we're starting with triplets. Da, 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 da. Triplet, triplet, and then 16ths. Triplet, triplet. Kind of tricky to do, switching between those rhythms there, but you see where that Dorian note comes in. Example 8, I stole this pattern from Richie Faulkner from Judas Priest, and it goes kind of like this. Okay, so we're going, and then triplet. Notice we're like going backwards, ascending across the strings. We're going up in pitch across the strings, but instead of going like hammer on, we're doing like pull off, so it's like flipped, and that's the Richie Faulkner thing that comes in. And anytime I do a string skip up to that high note, I'm using my middle finger for that pluck. Example 9 is simple, but a fun little workout. So you just bar across the first 2 strings with your index finger and get some strong pull-offs, and then switch to the Dorian note. Kind of like that. And then our final example, example 10, this is like an Eddie Van Halen kind of a thing. You're starting from an open, hammer, hammer, pull off, pull off. So we're doing it in groups of 5s. That's fun. And then we're gonna do the second string, but we'll do that Dorian note. And then we're gonna start from the Dorian note, and then back. And then we'll go down to the 3rd string, back to the 2nd, yeah, super fun. Okay, so that's it. So now the question is, when do you use this? Well, number 1, obviously you use it anytime you see a backing track that's like, hey, this is in Dorian. But the best way to know if you're in Dorian, if you're doing a minor blues and you're over the 1 chord, you should be good. And then also if the song starts in a minor chord and then it goes to like a 4 chord, that's a dominant 7. So this is like the most common chord progression that you'll see. So you'd have like A minor 7 to like D9. Okay, and my students will also get access to my lesson on the backing track. I break down how I wrote the backing track, what chords I was using, and how that was all constructed. And so we go a little bit deeper with that. But just know, basically, if you see this, those two chords in any key, then just start from your root note, minor pentatonic, add that Dorian note, and you're set, my friend. And you'll know real quick, if it's not in Dorian, that note will sound real poo-poo, and don't use it. But if you do it and it sounds cool, if you're in a minor key, you throw in that Dorian note and it sounds cool, run with it. All right, you guys, if you dig this, like and subscribe. If you got any questions, pop them in the chat below, and I will see you guys in the next times.